This build is some of the highest damage I've ever seen, and as far as I can tell, no one is talking about it. So this thing one-shots clearly. Let's get into the stats. You can see pretty clearly this is all about strength and min-maxing everything else. We have just enough endurance, and notably we have 80 strength, not the 54 soft cap, because this is a one-handed Ash of War. Two-handing does nothing for us, nor does the two-handed talisman, so we need to go to 80 strength and hit that cap. For the build itself, of course, heavy Milady wing stance, full Rakshasa. Note that I am not using the Blue Dancer talisman because even if you're naked with just Milady and talismans, it puts you in that mid-tier Blue Dancer buff, which only gives you 1% more damage than Rakshasa, so I'll take the negation from Rakshasa any day. Now, we're specifically using the R2 input from the wing stance, and that does pierce damage, so this is all about counter hits. So we obviously have the spear talisman, and then Rellana's Cameo is very self-explanatory. That gives you a 45% damage buff, which is more than Royal Knight's Resolve. So that's more than Royal Knight's Resolve attached to a weapon art with weapon art motion values. That's insane. Think about that. Of course, we also have Alexander's, self-explanatory, and Ritual Sword, which I'm showing here. Kind of a neat feature is when Ritual Sword is active, it hides the effect of Rellana's Cameo. Not sure how useful that is, but it's there, and it's something you should know about. And Ritual Sword is a totally legitimate, viable thing to put on here because the R2 input for Wing Stance does a jump, so you're able to score counter hits without trading pretty reliably. So the Ritual Sword makes sense. Now this setup does extreme damage. I can't emphasize it enough. When I was invading, I often wasn't getting counter hits and I was still one-shotting people. And for like half of these invasion clips, I even forgot to equip Alexander's Shard. So like I'm one-shotting people without counter hits, without Alexander's Shard, and it still does that much damage. And by my math, if you have everything equipped that you should and you do get the counter hit, this attack should be dealing around 2,500 damage, give or take, after you pass their defenses, which is mind-boggling. That's up there with like the highest one-shot attacks. Anyway, here's some invasions using this thing. Obviously, no one with a brain is going to let you one-shot them with this, but you're invading. There's plenty of people without brains, and this is fun to run. It's like not a very serious build, but it's fun to play around with for a little bit, so enjoy, guys.